westerns at the flicks. Then they got sent to the sticks because Hitler and those other Nazi pricks in the Blitz blew the East End docks to bits. And shit, they was just little kids. A pair of twins, such things did they witness. Innocence went amiss, destined to enter the crime biz. Their father was a deserter who got pissed, went berserk and used to hit their mother with a closed fist. So each brother to the other became indispensable. A bond that went beyond, chained them together, made them inseparable. Alike in body and mind, identical, entwined right down the line. Plus at that time it was acceptable in Bethnal Green to settle beefs with violence. It was permissible due to the code of silence. They grew seeing many a hard individual, but these two were one and became indivisible, fused together as if by the sun into one true original. Cockney myths helped to forge this critical mass. Kids were no real options to hand but to sass the authorities, because most avenues were blocked to these. Become boxers for a while but then adopted new priorities, because they clocked this and acknowledged this, and they weren't going to let society mock them and take the piss. Different morality, grew up with old school audacity, learned the lessons with a vengeance and turned a fantasy into reality. From the germs of these ideas they grew into the firm, in a few short years ready to serve their term as gangland bosses, but it would all end in tears. Allies, relatives and friends never prepared for these losses. So you both quickly attained your apogees, helped to make complete the so-called swinging 60s. The colonel in Fort Valence seemed impregnable, but you lost your head's balance and so you fell from your pedestal. You'd always struggled with a dark spectre of your paranoid schizophrenic illness, always thought they was out to get you. So in your head you'd written a mental hit list, and no amount of Stematol pills could help to stem this. Let you entering the blind beggar and firing your gun into the head of that George Cornell fella in front of all the regulars. He bled to death on the floor while you walked out the door. With every witness scared witless, it weren't none of their business. Now temporarily at least you was immune, walking on the moon, but all too soon the insanity would resume. Reggie, well he was wedded just briefly, but Frances, poor kid, wasn't equipped. She never had the heart for this. Her husband and her fell to arguing, him stumbling in late, mumbling, drunk on gin, done her nutting, made her ill, and so for the pills she did grab. Now Reg was the one filled with hate when he saw her laid out on a slab. His head went crazy and mad, no more restraint, plus he was touched by brother Ronnie's insidious taint, and enraged taunts and slamming the doors. I've done mine, now be a man and fucking do yours. Reggie, inevitably drawn into the maw of fate, fallen into its hateful claws, seemed to be claimed, not long to wait now, for your hated purveyors of the bourgeois laws. Jack the Hat, grabbed, attacked and stabbed. Due to your pure enmity, you ended another bloke's life. Guy pinned to the floor through the throat with a knife. Senselessly, it was simply the intensity of your grief that led you to believe intensely he should breathe no more, and freedom the twins would see no more, because destiny was leading them not so gently towards that big steel door. All to no avail, ended up in jail finally, liberty curtailed for your whole life's entirety. And so you was led away to do your penance, but because your name was Kray, all the poor had to learn these lessons. Reg served every single day of his 30-year sentence. Ron's demons were swiftly returning and aborning with a vengeance, swarming, stalking and haunting, until he was once again amongst the mental patients. Maybe causing this most final of separations was the hateful, heinous intention behind their interventions. Now just because I'm a fan of the movies, it don't automatically make me a wanker or some kind of a gangster groupie. I certainly ain't defending all of their actions, their offending led naturally to these sanctions, but certain facts threw me, like they was messing with the aristocracy, Rolls Royce phantoms, running casinos and frequenting mansions. Yeah, rent boys, rough trade, that's how they played. Their own arrogance didn't help, set them up, led to them being betrayed. But I say motherfuckers in the first places, they helped them to get semi-legit and made on the manner into well-known faces. Now that's got to be very confusing shit for two young lads who ever since they were tiny little kids had learned and lived the East End mythology, to wit, hard men prosper, and the rest of you got to stay in poverty. So no apologies for their criminology, yeah, never say sorry, but also no proper sane explanations for Ronnie for their sudden elevated social situations. Mad anyway, so you naturally became attracted to that tag, the drug of becoming a gangster name, and you're a natural too at the game of being a battler and a thug. You weren't no mug, no wanker, and you sure weren't no fucking amateur. But how could you understand that the man was always going to have the upper motherfucking hand on you? Man, of course you contributed to your own downfall. You had it all, that stupid shit was your call. Fuck brain fluid, must have made you do it. Man died through homicide in plain sight. On the infamous night it all got fucked up by one gunshot, a cracked act in an insalubrious pub. Your virtuosity or ferocity saw you adrift and lost at sea. So trust notoriety, removed permanently from society. The system came down like a motherfucker on ya, put you into prison to turn you into a number, to dwell in a cell like a living hell, but they can never make you nameless. Like Ron's hero Winston Churchill, the twins became forever famous. The kids down, even today they heard of you still. They still remain in awe at your murderous skill. It might be incorrect, but we showed you respect and overlooked your wrongs. You became the subject of movies, books and songs. Over 50 years since you was jailed, but still you're mentioned. Just as you both wanted, you both passed into legends.